Hello, this is wmpyr. This is a requested video for single stick training exercises. So what I'm going to do is go over 5 techniques, essentially 2 minutes each. Okay, so let's get started. The first one is going to be circles. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and start making circular motions like this. Boom, boom, boom. 2 minutes, ready and go. So notice when I'm making the circular motions, my wrist stays closed. So do that as much as possible because you don't want to compromise your grip. You don't want to drop the weapon. And now reverse direction this way. Okay. So notice the stick is on the left side of my body. And then of course I could bring it to this side, the right side of my body. So now I'm making like so. And I could go reverse direction. And what's important about this is there's all kinds of circular motions that you can make, okay? So if you want to add in these different angles of circles, feel free to. But the most important thing about that is that you want to clear the body, okay? So what I mean by that is as I'm making a circular motion, see, I don't want it to hit my hand accidentally. Boom, that would hurt. So definitely don't want that. You have 1 minute left. So if you're going to add a circular motion this way, that's fine. Make sure you don't accidentally, hit your head. So you want to make sure that you are clearing the head. You know where the stick is coming. You know how far away it is. You want to be safe with that, okay? And same with when you're making larger circles going downwards, you don't want to accidentally clip your knee. Going this way, I don't want to hit the other leg, okay? And once again, this way, I don't want to accidentally hit my hand here, boom, boom. So when you start chaining the circles and going a little wilder, faster, it definitely can happen, okay? So you want to get used to the idea of clearing the body, whether it's your elbow, your forearm, your hands, fingers, your head, just get the practice of clearing your body. And time. Okay, so the next one is what I call stick chaku, which is stick plus nunchucks, right? What it is essentially is passing the stick from one hand to the next. So the most basic nunchuck type movements, you're just passing the stick from the right hand to the left hand and vice versa. Okay, so 2 minutes, ready and go. So the most basic is something like this. Going from bottom to top, and of course you could go from top to bottom. So you're just practicing passing the stick like so. Some people like this one, hold it with the armpit and then pass it to the other hand. You could add diagonals and then boom, and pass it right here, okay? As you're passing the stick, think of this as a nunchuck, all right? What you're doing here is you're training for flexible weapons. So go ahead, you can add, imagine that this is like a chain that you're swinging around, or, you're swinging around a nunchuck. That's fine. So you're putting in flexible weapons training. A nunchuck is considered a flexible weapon. It's easier to maneuver than like a chain because it only has one joint, whereas the chain has many. Okay, 1 minute left. And the other thing that I want you guys to think about as you're doing this, don't forget, is that when you pass the stick, a lot of times people pass it way back here, because typical nunchuck, right? We can also pass it right in front of yourself right here. Okay, so boom. So passing the stick right in front of you, like so. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it doesn't have to be all the way back here. It doesn't have to be one of these diagonal things where you're going like so, behind your back, okay? So the reason why we pass up here, boom, boom, is because we have the balisong. Actually, Filipino martial arts is not really the karambit, it's the balisong, So for balisong, the handles are way shorter. It's not like a nunchuck where you're gonna be able to reach like this. You have to kind of do it up here. So that's time. So please don't neglect that. The next one impact weapon. Okay, so I want you to think about the stick as an impact weapon, like a club. So I don't care if you kind of treat it like a baseball bat and you go like this. Okay, so for 2 minutes, just think impact weapon. Ready? Go. So because this is an impact weapon, you're going to be smashing, bashing, crushing, you know, really putting in the blow there to break things. You know, I want you guys to think about that. Like, imagine this is a club, a mace, you know, baseball bat, something along those lines, okay? Like a caveman club, and you're just crushing things, smashing things down. So keep that in mind and practice. So now the other thing is, I'm indoors right here. Probably a lot of you are going to be, if not all of y'all, going to be indoors practicing this. So if that's the case, okay, you know, you don't want to accidentally hit the wall, the TV, the ceiling fan, the window, or whatever. So you're going to have to control it, okay? Keep going, keep going. 1 minute left. And when you control it, that doesn't mean like, okay, so I'm just doing it like this. That's not controlling it. I could go slow. I could go real slow, but I'm still putting in realistic body motion like this. So don't get sloppy. Just because you're slowing things down, don't become sloppy, and still like really emphasize that proper body mechanics as much as you can. All right, 30 seconds left. So keep going. Once again, I don't mind if you really think of this as like a baseball bat and you practice stuff like that. Sure, that's fine. Okay, with a longer, heavier stick, you might have to use it that way. So keep going. Four, three, two, one, and time. Okay, so the next one, we did flexible weapon, impact weapon, now it's bladed weapon. So for the bladed weapon, it's your second knuckles. That's where the blade edge is going to be. So really focus on the second knuckles and think now you're using a blade. So your motion should change from the impact weapon. So now you're thinking about cutting. You're not thinking about smashing, you're thinking about cutting. Okay, so 2 minutes, ready, and go. So as you do that, remember, a blade cuts. It doesn't, like this is not a good cut. Going this way or that way is what's going to cut it. I think in an old Chinese kung fu trick or demonstration that they do is they get a blade and they cut like a fruit or something, and then they go like this to the body, and this doesn't cut it as well. Now if they did this and went this way and that way, then I'll be impressed. But just doing this alone is not as impressive because the blade edge doesn't work that way. You know, it can still cut, but not as well as if you went back and forth like that, okay? So that's what you guys should be focusing on. So that's the main difference between impact weapon and bladed weapon, is that with impact weapon, I'm smashing through, okay? And with a bladed weapon, I want to make that contact, I want that pull, or I want that push, and that's what cuts. 1 minute left. And for both of those, I forgot to mention it with the impact weapon, you could still stab with an impact weapon. That's a strike, okay? But with a bladed weapon, obviously a stab is a very powerful weapon there, but you can stab and cut simultaneously. So that's another thing to think about. So keep going and really, really focus. You know, imagine this is now a sword, okay? So it's a sword, and where is the edge? You should always thinking about that. Sometimes you're going to use the edge, obviously when you're cutting and stabbing. Other times you want to avoid the edge and protect the edge. So defensively, I want to use the spine, or I might use the side of the blade to defend and to parry, okay? So keep going. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so the last one here. The last one, some people may say, that's not Filipino martial arts. I don't care, you know. At the end of the day, this is just skill, and I want to show you guys some practical stuff. Everything I do, it needs to be practical for me. So in a real life situation, there's going to be times where you might have two hands on the weapon. So that's what I want you guys to focus on. Two hands on the stick. Okay, so 2 minutes, ready and go. Okay, so when you do this, the most obvious right here, and you're going to strike or defend with the middle area. So you don't want your hands like this. You're going to want your hands as wide as possible. So this is going to be used. You could just strike directly right here. Like imagine a riot type situation and you want someone to, you know, back off. So you strike them right in the face with this, okay, or right on the neck. And then there's other times where you want to be using the edge of the stick, okay. So when you do that, the hand's going to shift down. And now, boom, like so. So I want you guys to think about that, okay. So right here, I decide to use the middle. Maybe they're stabbing at me or whatever. Then I open up and I hit them on the hand as I defend. That's defang the snake. I'm still using Filipino martial arts concepts. And now, you know, I decide to hit them. So now I can slide the hand, expose more of the stick, and boom, like so. So, you see, practice changing that. 1 minute left, 1 minute left. So, practice changing. So now I want to use the bottom side. My hand's going to slide up, boom, boom. Now the top side. So my hand automatically slides down to expose the areas that I want to be using, okay? So just moving your grip around instead of just staying in one position. That's what makes this a little bit different from a bayonet, like an actual rifle with a blade attached on it. You know, so for that, your hands are going to be more set. With this, you have a variety of areas where you could place your grip. So keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.